Hey everybody, this is Zach with Tanuki Games, and today we're taking a look at Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. This is the second in a three-part series. I'm going to try to review all three games in the next few weeks. This game was released on the original Xbox, PS2, and on PC. Since we're going in backwards order, just to set a timeline, Max Payne 2 takes place 9 years prior to the events of Max Payne 3. The Fall of Max Payne is a pretty good looking game by 2004 standards. It runs in 720p and it looks really nice. The graphics are fairly simplistic, but there's a lot of minor detail into a lot of the environments. Once again, Max Payne uses the Noir style as its backdrop, and this game in particular is fairly interesting because it's not only about corruption and betrayal, but also about love and guilt about having feelings for another person. Mona Sachs is the other protagonist in the game, and you even get to play as her, and it's pretty interesting because it fills in some holes in the story, but also it's interesting to play a love interest of Max Payne, who is almost exclusively seen as individual and isolated from the rest of the world. Gameplay-wise, Max Payne is a very solid third-person shooter. There's some light platforming throughout the game, but nothing too exciting. What is cool is the ability to dodge jump, which slows down time without using your bullet time meter. The bullet time meter refills the more people you kill, but then as you slow down time, the more people you kill as well will slow down the time even further. So if you can string together a couple of kills in a row, you're moving at regular speed and everybody else is in very slow motion. Tactically, this is pretty interesting. I played the game on Detective, which is the default mode, and it changes based on how well you do. If you don't die for a couple of rooms, it gets more difficult, and the more you die, the easier it gets. I like this as a default difficulty because it never prevents you from progressing through the game, but it is challenging the longer you go without dying because it's getting more and more difficult. Max Payne 2 has really enjoyable cutscenes. There's a comic book style to all of it, and there's seems to be a continuous stream of rain and darkness that surrounds Max's life, and I really like the cutscenes because they just have this really hazy, washed out feel to them, and I like the comic book style. I don't think this would work today as well as it did back then, but I really enjoy the style. I think that the artists did a great job of taking pictures and then turning these pictures into kind of these very interesting, hazy images that feel visceral at the same time, realistic, and yet still very stylized. The voice acting in the game is very good, and I really enjoy a lot of the monologues that Max has, and the character of Mona brings a softness and femininity to the character that you wouldn't really expect. Max is somewhat tender with her, and I really enjoy this aspect of seeing a different shade of him. There are also a lot of really funny moments in the game that are just a great juxtaposition to the seriousness of the universe. The game definitely has its tongue firmly in cheek, and for as much as people want to say that Max is an overly serious character, I actually think that the writers are very well aware of that and are very good about playing with that idea of him being overly serious and yet living in a world that still does find humor. Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne, is a great game. It's a little bit on the short side. I think I beat it in about 4 sittings, and that's probably around the 6 to 8 hour mark. However, you can find this game for dirt cheap. I picked my copy up for $4. It's definitely worth that price of admission, and there's a lot of replay value. There's higher difficulties, and the story is pretty confusing here again, so I think it's definitely worth a second playthrough to see all of the plants that were put there before. If you've played Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne, what'd you think of it? What are some memories you might have of it? If you haven't played Max Payne 2, how does it look to you? This is Zach with Tanuki Games. Any help you can give the channel is very much appreciated. A like, a subscribe, or a comment. Enjoy!
I didn't tell them I had seen her. I wanted to stall. Maybe it was because she was alive when everyone else kept dying on me.